I first came to Malawi in 2009 teaching in a Bible college, and then came back again in 2011, and that was when I first met Kerusso, who's the ministries director of J-Life. I was involved in a church leader training event then, and out of that, Connex shared with me that he felt that the greatest need that Malawi and the Malawian church had was the training of its leaders.
In the first place, we realized that Malawian church has got a gap. The gap is on the basis that it is very easy for people to come to the Lord, but for them to grow in the faith, that becomes a very, very difficult thing. And again, for them to be fully equipped for ministry, that is also one of the big challenges.
It was really quite moving to realize that over 90% of church leaders in Malawi have had no training formally at all for the ministries that God has called them to.
So we realized that it was necessary to start this Learn to Serve program, so that through this program we should be able to equip those people that are in leadership so that they can also disciple others. And the whole essence of doing this program is multiplication of disciple makers.
The emphasis of Learn to Serve, it's about servant leadership. So there are a number of leaders out there who are not servant leaders, but they are like bosses. So this program of Learn to Serve actually helps church leaders and pastors to understand what servant leadership is all about.
In the community, we do have two critical leaders who are working hand in hand. This is a church leader, a pastor who has a flock following, as well as in the community is the traditional chief. So when we started Learn to Serve for church leaders, we knew that we have left out the village chief, who has more powers in the community, and in other times have the powers to manipulate people, the powers to influence some decisions, and powers to sometimes to indulge in corrupt activities. So we felt like I think the best way to take the whole community is to train the traditional chiefs on how best they can execute our governance issues in the villages. We model the life of some of the biblical chiefs who did well in their communities and villages. For example, studying the life of David as one of the good example of such chiefs.
In addition, if we can identify those church leaders who have the ability and the passion, and most importantly, the good character that is needed to become trainers of other church leaders in their own local areas, then we can multiply that impact of Learn to Serve much more widely. And to that end, we have also developed this second program called In Trust, which is based upon the verse 2 Timothy 2:2, where Paul says, "And the things you've heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, you entrust to others who will then themselves become reliable teachers of other people again." And if you do that, you multiply the impact of the trainings through Learn to Serve. And we've run that program, and now indeed some of the people who graduated from that program have become facilitators within the Learn to Serve program and are running various trainings for churches across the denominations in their own local areas. So we have this strap line, which is training thousands to reach hundreds of thousands for Christ. And that indeed is what we're doing. By reaching the church leaders, you can then bring that benefit through a Bible-driven ministry to the lives of the hundreds of thousands who are attending the churches of those church leaders.